Yo, yo, yo. How's everybody doing? Welcome to another edition. I would say limited edition, but I don't think it's limited. Of the PP1 podcast on the Dean Blundell Network. You can find us on Amazon and Google and Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Any more? It's got to be.
And hopefully your headphones. I mean, there's like Stitcher. There is a Carrier Pigeon. Smoke signals. Yeah, that was a big one a couple years ago. MySpace, I think, is coming back.
Oh, MySpace.
Yeah, ICQ.
I wonder, could you go to an actual MySpace page now still?
I think you can. I was there was a band that had a MySpace page, and I was trying to find a song of theirs, and that was the only place I could find it. That was as solid of a reference as the furniture in your house that we moved last weekend.
Yeah, all the oak, the hardwood,
maple and oak, like it was like lifting bricks, but also proves that you got some pretty nice furniture in your house. So, yeah, welcome to the show, folks. I'm Ryan. We got Ted with me. We might even have a guest tonight. We're hoping to have one anyway. Before we start, by all means, if you decide that you want to join the chat, either on Facebook or on YouTube, come on in. We'll chat with you because it's Wednesday. I just got back from the rink. There's a speed skating, a mini meet, as we call it in the speed skating world. So like a club meet, but official time. So kids trying to get their times up for provincials and stuff. So big times, freezing cold. My hands probably won't be warm. I have a nice cup of hot coffee. So taste and function is this cup of coffee. So it duels as keeping me happy and also keeping my hands warm.
I might have to sneak away from this mic and go grab something to drink to myself.
You could do that. We'll find a segue somewhere that, like, oh, what's that? Oh, there's some other door pizza. Yeah, it's been a busy week for our Vancouver Canucks, and they're now in the All-Star break, and that's okay. But before we get to the Canucks, we got some stuff to get out of the way. First and foremost, my taste buds are either like on overload right now, or Wendy's spicy chicken, they changed the recipe because holy crap, I've had it twice, and like I had to double check. I had it like on the weekend, and then I had it the other day, and it's like spicy, not like McDonald's, how they said, like they got the spicy Szechuan or whatever.
They have like 3 levels of spicy at McDonald's.
That's trash.
I still haven't tried any of that stuff.
It's if you like a good kind of like a flavored spicy sauce, but just to say it's spicy, it wasn't really spicy. The Wendy's spicy chicken is spicy, and it's good. In Kelowna, I highly suggest if you're hanging out, make it happen because it is worth the trip. I also don't know if I had COVID.
Is it actually that spicy? Because I mean, I had a spicy chicken.
Yeah, it is.
But I had a spicy chicken on the Sunday. So like the day after you and I worked on the big move, I had a spicy chicken.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice.
Did you have it in Rutland? Or did you get it the main location?
Are they making spicy chickens different at different places?
They must be. That's what I'm saying. Because so I'm on the road a lot for work.
Ryan,
listen to me. Just hear me out. So I go to the main one a lot. The one on Cooper.
Is it the main one because it's closer to you?
It's the first one, so it's the main one. It's the OG of the Kelowna Wendys locations. There's going to be one person in the comment be like, he's right. Just all I need is one to be validated. That's it. And but I do go to the Rutland one a lot, to be fair. But I don't know.
Do you let them know that, like, hey, you're not the main one, but I'm still here?
I would never say that. That's rude. Sometimes it's the same guy though, and that freaks me out. I'm like, did I go the right? Did I arrive at the wrong one? So anyway, I might have had COVID last week. I don't know. I don't think so. But I had like a heavy chest like early in the week, but that was it. It was lasted like a couple days and then it was gone. So I don't even think I had anything. But I'm just saying, like, my taste buds were all there, so that was always the big thing, right? But
maybe they made your taste buds even weaker.
No, I think this like amplified. Something's there. It's like I said, Wendy's. if they did change it, if somebody amped up the spice factor, good on you. Good
Well,
on you.
that's what happened to Vancouver. Then they got COVID, and then it amped up the spice.
Yeah, except for that Calgary game. Except
We
for
don't
the
talk about
Calgary
that.
game. Yeah. Do you saw that Calgary game, right?
No, I never saw it. I was moving.
Oh man. So I don't know how you go from absolutely waxing the Winnipeg Jets to one of the worst games I've ever seen. Like they
That's
lost.
that could be like a great headline. The Winnipeg waxing.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome. We also do nails. Winnipeg waxing. I like it. That's not a bad idea. And then they followed up with a really
It's a petty joke, Ryan.
I know. I'm here for it. I'll pander for whatever I can get.
It's a
And then they
Manny and
go and they
petty.
play Nashville, and it's like a track meet in the first period, back and forth, goals galore, and you actually think they're going to be in it, and then they slowly kind of, let it whittle away. Good game, good game. Just they didn't have.
They usually are against the Preds, though. I think that I just like the way that Nashville plays hockey. It's fun to watch.
Mhm. But what was interesting, and I know that you didn't necessarily see the whole game, but they were out for OEL in that game. Like they were like running, gunning, and I thought, like, is this an Arizona kind of backtrack kind of thing? But they weren't going for Garland that much, which I thought was interesting.
And he's the type of guy you want to go after.
Exactly, but they were all over OEL in that game. So interesting. Maybe that's something that we'll see the next time, or maybe that was the last time they played Nashville this year. I think it might be. So anyway, interesting. I've been talking a lot, but I have one more thing. Paper straws. This is crap. We need to get off the paper straws and back onto plastic.
Paper straws are the bane of my wife's existence.
It's
She'll decide not to go somewhere because it has a paper straw. So I think we're like sort of big fans of Booster Juice because they're using this sort of like biodegradable plastic straws.
right. But at least it's plastic. Like it's the stupidest thing. And they still wrap the bloody thing in paper. You're doubling up. Just they're creating waste. You're creating something I still have to throw out. So you know what? Give us that. Give us the simplicity of the plastic straw. That's all I'm saying. We can save the planet in so many other areas, but give us the plastic straw back.
We should be dividing up your weekly gripes. We'll we'll hit a topic, then a Hank gripe, and then another topic, and then a Hank gripe.
Yeah. And don't
And
get
then
me
another topic, and then like, hey, we're gonna I want the tractor trailer semi truck with the ramp on it so I can do a jump on it. One of those things those weird stuff you come up with.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair,
You just want to get them out of the way, like right off the jump.
yeah, because I mean, you hit them hard, get people thinking, and then you get into the hockey stuff. So, but this isn't about Wendy's spicy chicken or straws. As I said, the Canucks, they've been picking up points faster than optimum days at Shoppers. They've got points in the last 7 of 9. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Remember that. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Hey, buy these wine gums, collect
Mhm.
80,000 points.
Oh.
Sweet. How much is 80,000 points? Well, when you collect 17 million points, you get $5 off.
Have you ever redeemed Shoppers points?
How much money is a Shroot Buck worth? 1/100th of a cent.
But it's worth millions here. Have you ever redeemed Shoppers Optimum points?
Never. That's the wife likes that stuff. I don't. That's not my thing.
So when I used to work at the Jersey City in Kelowna, we had the Shoppers. So I'd go there. I was a young buck, my late teens, early 20s. So
And so
sometimes
you would frequent the Shoppers as a young teen.
Snickers and a Pepsi. That was like my lunch sometimes.
Other kids
serious.
hanging out at the 7-Eleven. No, Ryan is headed over to the Shoppers.
Maybe I'll even spruce up my lunch with a thing of
It's
Pringles.
lunch hour, guys. Let's head over to the drug mart.
Oh, and you know what? I'm out of Tylenol. So it's 2 birds, 1 stone. But so eventually I remember, I think I cashed in one time. I think I cashed in like $5 or $10. And I thought, this was a long haul to get to this point. And I realized it's too expensive to be earning points here.
It took me my entire senior year to own up $10.
Yeah. It's the payoff is just not there. So, but again, like, man, a lot of references to start this. A lot.
Yeah.
I don't
more
know
than usual.
whether you like them or not. I don't really care. But the Canucks are still in a playoff position. They're not in the playoffs, but they're close. That guy that's
They're jockeying, so to speak.
that guy that is chewing on the metal and shooting the champagne. You know that meme that keeps going out like every time they win or lose. You know the guy that he's like popping the champagne and he's biting on the metal, and then it shows like the standings, and he's like fifth. You know that one? So he's getting closer to the top there. So he's getting pretty excited. And really, they're only a couple points out. They're 4 points out from Calgary for the second wild card. I mean, Calgary's got, I think, 4 games in hand on them. You can thank COVID for that. But it's possible. It's possible. They're playing.
So
They're playing.
there's a chance.
Exactly. They're playing. We might make it hockey. And that's all we can ask for this year.
They're playing for something at the moment, right? They're not out of it by Christmas like it was supposed to be earlier this season.
Mm-hmm. The downside is who stays to see this either through or who goes, so that next year is the answer. There's a lot of trades is what I'm trying to get at here.
Well, there's going to be a lot of trades.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors. We've heard Garland talk. We've heard JT Miller talk. It wouldn't be a Canucks podcast without it. But is like Jason Dickinson going to be gone? Are they going to get rid of Tanner Pearson? Is someone going to realize that, hey, we need Tucker Poolman and then Halak? Like those are the ones that everybody's talking about. But I guess
is there another like Jim Benning-esque GM that would look to go out and acquire a Tucker Poolman?
There has to be.
Great name.
Yeah.
Big guy.
There's got to be someone out there. There has to be. Like, is there a Jacksonville Jaguars of the NHL right now? Like, just scroll.
Yeah, we obviously have no idea where a lot of these players could end up or who's on the chopping. We have a good idea of who's on the chopping block, and then we know that Miller is somebody that they are going to consider trading. Right. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Like Tanner Pearson should be on that list of guys that they would consider trading.
Mm-hmm.
It would be on my list, not because Tanner Pearson's a bad hockey player. I mean,
no.
If anything, he's improved his game since Bruce got there, and I think the Miller thing is obvious why they would look to trade a player like that, and I can see the disdain in this fan base for why they would not want to move a guy like Miller. He's a heart and soul type guy, but sometimes the return is just too much to pass up. I mean, I often look at that trade from Calgary to Dallas when they gave up Joe Nieuwendyk and they got Jarome Iginla.
Yep.
And Joe Nieuwendyk was a top end forward. He was a glue guy. He was a guy that was going to push you over the hump and do more for you on a competing franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And Jarome we didn't know what Jarome was going to be quite yet, right? Yeah. I mean, so obviously he was highly coveted. I mean, when that trade happened, Calgary ends up going to the Stanley Cup final a couple of years later. So you could say that
Dallas went to the Stanley Cup final.
No. Calgary went to a Stanley Cup final a couple of years later after. No, yeah, couple of years later after Jarome had established himself as an NHLer. So you could say that it was a win for them. Obviously, they lost Joe, which they weren't going to do anything. On the other side of the coin, Dallas goes to a Stanley Cup and ultimately wins it with a guy like Joe. So you could say that trade just worked out great for both teams. And I obviously, if we're going to move a player like JT Miller, I would like to see a scenario like that happening, right? Where, you're going to see Miller go somewhere and find success in the playoffs and hopefully go somewhere and win a cup.
Yeah.
Right. That would ultimately be the best case scenario. Maybe when they work out the trade, depending on how well they finish the value on the return is worth even more. Who knows? Right.
Yeah.
And then if we are able to get a guy like a super high end prospect back, I mean, it's going to take some years down the road, but I would ultimately think people are going to end up being okay with that than an aging JT Miller on a high end contract, because he's going to resign and he's going to want bucks, right? You get paid for what you've done, not for what you're going to do.
Exactly.
So it would be tough to see a guy like Miller go, but I mean, I think we have early trust in this management regime. So
Yeah,
you know,
enough has transpired early on. I mean, even from the management signings and like as an organization, right?
mhm.
Not just the GM or the president, but as an organization, they've already made a handful of moves, coach, GM, like all these things, and you think, okay, this is very, very different than we've had in the last 8 years. I've already kind of bought in because
The list of yeah, you're 100% right. The list of guys that I when a new regime comes in like this, I mean, look at when Benning came in. This team is, you know, it's almost not all that's basically left is like Bo and Bits, maybe, right?
mhm,
Like, and Bo was not even a
Byron
player
Bits.
on this roster, right? So yeah, Byron Bits, that's funny. So when a new regime comes in, you have to expect changes. They're not gonna, and that happens in every sport, in every walk, right? So I just can't see all of these players who we've grown to love that we are now starting to see success in. I can't see them all sticking around. My list of untouchables is so minute. If I'm a new GM looking to completely overhaul this organization, so anybody's fair game. I can see on your list there. Obviously, Garland, cheap player. He's got the big contract, or the good contract with the a good flex of years on it. Miller, we just talked about that. Dickinson could be a really nice player on another roster with some defensive chops. Tanner Pearson, we talked about that. Pullman, we talked about that. Yaroslav Halak was literally brought in for this purpose of trading, and we go back to the Thomas Vanek thing. So all these guys are fair game. Like really, like even Myers, who's been a renaissance under Boudreaux, if he's got major value and somebody wants to give up a first round draft pick, don't you have to make that move?
Well, I mean, you're probably not going to get a first, but yeah,
But say
I mean,
something happened, you never know, right? I mean,
but you get it. I guess
if
the other
the
thing is get away from a contract too.
you get away from a contract, if there's a run for a right-handed shooting defenseman who's big and can handle himself physically,
Yeah,
and that player is in need, and there's none available, then all of a sudden the value just shoots right up. I'm not. It's all figuratively speaking, but
yeah,
if you get the things that you need,
yeah. The market can kind of create itself depending on how it goes. Right?
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I was looking at like I've had Cap Friendly open the last couple days, and I mean the Miller one has kind of dominated. I think that that dominates everybody's mindset because essentially he is probably the key piece right now that has been talked about that they believe could move and could be moved for not exactly a king's ransom, but enough of one that it is absolutely worth chatting about. And it would suck. I think there is a lot to offer with JT Miller on this team. That being said, I mean, there's also a lot to think like he's not necessarily in um your core four, if we will. So if we break everything back down to that core four, and I mean, everybody's freaking out about, oh, well, he's going to
Is it
be.
even a core four? Is it
Well,
that
it's
big?
not, but just for the as far as where we were, let's say 2 seasons ago, even or a
Sure.
season.
Okay.
So you look at what JT Miller is, and I do hate how this market and everyone else just breaks in. Well, he's turning 28 and 29. Yeah, well, there's still valuable seasons. And yes, you would still
Obviously.
get yeah, but I mean, if you sign him long term, let's say you got 5 or 6 years out of him, like we're all just assuming these guys literally die off when they hit like 32. And there's a lot of players that basically retire, but at the same time, like, do you not want to see all that value if you can keep them? Yes, you do. But if you're gonna trade them, and if you're looking at making that move and helping someone out, who does he go to? Now, the first team I would think would be like the New York Rangers. There's been a lot of rumors
Which is
there,
funny.
which is beyond ironic, but I mean, hey, I'll entertain it. If the rumor of what we've heard could happen, and I hope we're thinking the same guy. He was on a hockey card last season and hasn't quite panned out. That's ridiculous. But if there was a package to make that said player available, I mean, I think that is a decent lottery ticket to have. That being said, there's also another team that I think that I mean, considering they've drawn from everyone else on this team, the new Florida Panthers for the Vancouver Canucks would probably be the Pittsburgh Penguins
Isn't
because
that funny that doesn't matter what regime comes in, that's a viable trade partner.
Yeah, but I'm thinking Pittsburgh though. The other Florida Panthers, because we've taken all their management types.
Yeah.
So, like, I was going through. The tough thing is, like, who would you, who would you trade, or what would you trade off of Pittsburgh to get JT Miller on your team for a run? Because I mean, oh my goodness, would he fit on that team? Like, he would. He would just be one of those guys that jumps in, and you could throw him on the top line. You could put him on the second line if you wanted to. You'd probably, like, you could basically have him with Crosby or Malkin, and you'd be golden. And you'd have two guys that are ready to rock. He can probably take you to that next phase of your team with Gunsel and the Rust and those guys. But again, who do you trade? Do you trade draft picks? Do you go and try to get, like, you can't take anyone of value because they're clearly going to make another run. So do you get, a couple great draft picks and a prospect, or what happens?
From the Rangers or from
Pittsburgh. I'm starting
Pittsburgh?
with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't know enough about what's there immediately from Pittsburgh, so I'd have to take some time to dig. And I think it might be cool to maybe do an episode in the next couple of days or whatever for trade targets. But yeah, I mean, Tanner Pearson was a guy whose name pops up to go. And wouldn't that be funny to see, say Miller and Pearson go and they end up in Pittsburgh and New York? It would be ridiculous. I was talking to a guy.
You'd all laugh.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy, a New York fan, who was saying that, Chris Drury, he comes from this sort of like this sort of new age GM style manager. And we're looking at a guy who, if rumors are out there that it's JT Miller that's going to New York, then it's you can't believe it, because it's like a smoke signal, right? I mean, he's never acquiring the player that anybody thinks. It's always somebody different. And when he gets them, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And then you're like,
okay. Like, I mean, obviously Nils Lundqvist is a guy that they're talking about shopping around, and this is a guy with some talent. And if the Lafreniere thing is true, I mean, that was a guy that Brady was really high on. He called him a generational talent.
Yeah.
He's still going to be a nice player. I mean, that would be a good guy to come
early
back.
It's so early with Laffy. Like, it's so early on him. Like,
well, I mean, the Laffy thing is I mean, if there ever was a comparison to the Iginla Nieuwendyk trade, it could very well be, a JT Miller for a Lafreniere guy, a guy that's up and coming. They know is going to be good, but he's not what we need him to be right now, right? I mean, the Boston thing and Phil Kessel leaving was another thing, right? So
totally.
If you can bring in a piece that's gonna, I mean, you talked about not wanting to replace anybody on the roster, but if you're literally replacing an upgrade for an upgrade, in New York's case,
that's on the Rangers.
Right?
And then I look at Tampa. So Tampa was another one. I mean, clearly they can make a run almost.
I feel like Stevie Y doesn't lose trades either, so that's another sketchy one. It's like trading with Billy Bean back in the day, right?
But so, I mean,
what do you mean that guy? What do you mean you want that guy? Who's that guy?
Yeah,
I don't know. Billy wants him. Probably we're not giving that guy up. You know what I mean?
No. So, like, now would this be crazy? And I may get shredded for this, but I mean, these boys have bounced around a little bit. The boys from Kelowna. What about a Cal Foote? Like, could you afford to get rid of JT Miller and get a pick and like Cal Foote?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I wonder if Cal Foote is the stud defenseman that they sort of envisioned him being, and then
right.
I like the idea of the New Jersey idea better, right? I mean, for Severson. I mean, if we're talking about Kelowna boys, right?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, yeah, the Foots.
Or that's a winger.
Yeah, that's a winger. But I mean, we're talking about some. I mean, both those teams, for some reason, they're so good every year, but they still manage to get themselves with a stocked cupboard every year.
Right.
And it's because they do things like trade JT Miller for somebody for a first round draft pick.
And that's why I think Tampa picking him back up, because they didn't want to get rid of him.
No, not at all. It was a cap casualty, right?
And this is one of those things like, oh, well, we can get him back. And like, yeah, it's a first, but it's a late first, and we're not going to need this one. Like, really, for them, it'll be like, well, we did him a solid because we totally fleeced him the last time. There's no way we could do it twice. So yeah, we'll just trade
if it's a late first for a JT Miller, let's say he goes back to Tampa. If it's a late first for JT, that's not enough. You have to do better than that.
Well, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, Cal Foote comes into the play.
Yeah. So if it's a late first and a Cal Foote, or a late first and whatever said prospect. I mean, it's got to be gifts and then some, right?
Yeah. So okay, so we could go on JT Miller for a bit. Let's look at, and I don't want to make this too much about trading,
Oh, it's
but
okay. Yeah, that's where we are right now, right? I
yeah.
mean,
So because like something's going to happen by the end of the weekend, because in true Canucks fashion, you and I have both followed this team for a long, long time. Whenever everybody's guard is down, or when everybody's expectations, like it's always when you're not expecting it, or when they said expect something, the Canucks always just deliver.
yeah,
Like
the fans are gonna riot. It's gonna be.
one way or another, right? Like
I mean, I love the Canucks just like everybody else, but Vancouver fans, by and large, like mega overvalue their players
you
because they
can't
become
help it.
attached to them. They love them, right? I
Yeah.
mean, and so this
You're
everybody
not
loves this
just a Canuck,
management group,
like
right?
your
Yeah.
family.
This management group comes in, a new coach is installed, the team starts winning, but it's probably not sustainable, and there's major things that need to be corrected in terms of the decor and the cap situation.
Sure.
So when you start making trades like that, when the team is winning,
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be a mob
Whoops.
for sure.
I'm just sorry. I gotta. How do I do this? So Henry Twidale he's commenting. Or maybe I just had this on my. Oh yeah. So he commented on Twitter. So we can get comments just in a different way. Makes more sense to trade Miller compared to Garland, given Miller's contract is going to be unaffordable. Well, we assume. While Garland's contract actually looks okay and is younger. So, like I was saying, is it
Mm-hmm.
too? Or I was going to say, is it too early to say that Connor Garland is available, or is it because it's early enough and we haven't really gotten like he hasn't really set roots, if you will, that he's still a viable trade chip? Like I believe he is,
Well,
and as you
he's
said, no one's untouchable aside from probably there's two players, and it's Quinn Hughes and it's Thatcher Demko, and that would be the two. And again, we've debated about maybe it's just one.
yeah. I mean, Garland has obviously endured himself to Canucks fans, and the very thing that makes Connor Garland a solid piece for the Canucks is the very thing that makes him a trade target for other teams.
Yeah,
He's cheap. He's got a contract that makes him cheap, so it's team controlled, and the guy can game, right? I mean, it's players like him and watching Braden Point that are winning or helping to win championships right now. So
could you
it's
imagine
nice to
him
have
on
their
the call?
own. Yeah. So if somebody wants to come calling for a Connor Garland, there's not a reason for Vancouver to have to give him up. So you better overpay.
Mhm. Yeah,
Period. I mean, it's just like
yeah,
the NFL thing, right? I mean, you're coming to me for a trade. You
yeah,
need X wide receiver.
yeah. I don't have to
I
get rid of him.
I, I have a plethora, and I'm fine. I don't need what you're peddling.
Yeah,
You can overpay.
yeah.
So this isn't a fair value thing. Like you need to be getting more than fair value if you're going to move a guy like Connor Garland. And
Seller's market on him.
if the Canucks are out there fleecing teams on trades, then I'm here for that.
That would be a
100%.
weird feeling. That would be
Yeah.
like it would be that's
It
like
would be some
nebulous.
Christian Ehrhoff for
That's the
Pat
one.
White, and
Yeah.
was it Daniel Rahimi or so? I don't know.
The day,
Like
like you
that's the
remember
kind
that
of
day.
yeah. What?
Like not the trade. Do you
What?
remember that day? Like I remember I was at my parents' house and I think we were in town on holidays or something. And I remember that
And I
came in.
just plugged the toilet with a massive poop.
I probably did like hours earlier. And I just remember like I'm laughing like there's no way this is the trade. There's
Yeah, and
no way.
it was weaponizing cap space, right? I mean, the Canucks had it,
Yeah.
the Sharks didn't, and so they got it for pennies on the dollar. I mean, that's the one part where Vancouver possibly runs into a little bit of trouble in this because Vancouver does not have cap space.
No. So they might be handcuffed a little bit. But I think again, you've got a president and now a GM that you would assume knows what they're doing and probably thinks, well, we're a little bit behind the eight ball. So we might have to do some risky things, not stupid, but we might have to go a little bit deeper than we want on this, but we're going to get value. It just might, like without giving draft picks, we might have to give up
Yeah,
this, but we're going to get this. Like the sell
yeah,
will be there. Like, hey, we get you didn't want to get rid of this guy, but we're bringing in something I think you'll be okay with.
and it's weird, right? It's been maybe not 8 years, but it's been close to 8 years worth of, not all at once, but 8 years worth of poo-poo.
Lots of
And
poo-poo clogging the
and the
toilets.
and the team is it's finally playing good, and a GM is gonna come in and rip shit up.
But for the
People
better.
people are not gonna be happy. I agree, it's for the best.
For the best, I think. So, yeah, you're right. I think it's entirely possible we see one of those moves happen. There's no way Jack Hughes is coming, people. Jack Hughes is not coming to the Canucks. There's no way.
I mean,
if it happened, I mean,
super duper if that does happen.
yeah.
If Jack Hughes for JT
But they
Miller
just
happens,
drafted Luke Hughes, so it's not like
I don't know. What is it? None of that matters. Just ask the Stahl brothers.
Yeah, well, like, hey, we just drafted your brother. Yeah, but I'm gonna peace out. So yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid older brother syndrome. Like, yeah, I'm the middle kid. Peace out. Like, no one cares about me anyway. I'm going to Vancouver.
Yeah, get out of here, Malcolm. Oh, Malcolm Subban is the middle kid too, isn't he?
I think so.
Oh, I meant Malcolm in the middle, but
yeah,
that's
Malcolm,
also. Yeah.
I got the joke.
You're not the boss of me.
We haven't got there to dudes and guys that you probably heard the ad by now from Move Health and Wellness. We got 2 ads rolling, 2 ads on the network via the Spotify. They're good. Did you hear the other one I sent you?
Mm-hmm.
Like both of them? You've heard both of them now?
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, nice work. Stuff. You got a very smooth, sultry voice.
I recorded it right in this spot, right here, with the family.
You gotta go as Goulet for Halloween one time.
Goulet.
Oh, a Diablo Martini.
You win. You always do.
Devil of a good time.
So don't forget about Move Health and Wellness. Did we chat about this last week? You had oh no, we chatted about it on the weekend. So you went and saw Kaylee.
Oh yeah.
And did you use the safe word?
I did not use the safe word. Safe word's pizza for anybody that's wondering.
It is pizza. So
but she dug in to like my scapula and shoulders and like my hammies and stuff, and I feel great. I felt terrible that day and like maybe most of the next day. Like I tried to use my back roller later that night. That was a bad idea.
A little bit of pain.
But she's really good, right? I mean, we got some time to talk to John too and the stuff that they're doing down there, and it's a really nice setup and it was really easy. Big fan of obviously direct billing people. You know how that works, and if you don't want to go in and you don't want to drop $70 out of your account, and you want to just go in and show them your card, and then it's all covered and it's good and no money changes hand, it's like you get the free service, and not enough people are doing direct pay in my opinion. So that's just a nice little bonus. And booking online was easy.
Yeah, the app.
Yeah, they use Jane, so that's super common, and anybody who's booked online has done all that stuff. So yeah, she did fantastic hands. It has fantastic job, strong hands. The girl knows what she's doing. And I'm happy to go back to continue to do maintenance and injury care there. Just phenomenal staff.
Yeah,
I'm really happy we're partnered with them.
We already have in our family. My wife was also there last Saturday. While we were moving your stuff there, all of your heavy wood. Some things you probably don't need anymore, but that's a different story. And
we're in that funny spot, right? So we're waiting to move into our home. Mm-hmm. And in the meantime, we're staying at a temporary home for 3 months. So it's like you can only take half of your stuff because it's smaller, and the other half's got to go into storage, and you're trying to sort all that stuff. And as you get closer to the actual move day, you're like, okay, we can't spend any more time sorting stuff because we're running out of time. So inevitably, you get 7 or 8 boxes full of, what is this even? I don't even know.
2x4 bench. The bench made of all.
Yeah, but I built that bench. That's for.
But it's like a frame. It's basically.
It's for the outside. It's for a bench in the garden.
I can make you another one this spring.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. But then we didn't have to throw it out. I mean, I built that bench. Why would I want to throw it out?
And the pagoda. Yes.
Yes, the pagoda.
The thing is heavy AF, folks.
The pagoda was heavy.
unless you're dead, I'll just pick this up. So he basically emasculated all 3 of us in a heartbeat. So it was a 2-man job, and he just goes and picks it up, and we all just walked away. But that's okay. I'd rather you do it than us and hurt my
Well, I
back.
picked it up and there was instant regret, but I never shared that with you guys.
You hit it very well. We did not know. We did not know. But anyway, Move Health and Wellness, as you probably heard on the ad, again, great partners to be with. They are the sponsors of our Dudes and Guys, which we'll get to shortly. The power play is still struggling. It seems like we started this show and there was good things to talk about the power play. Way back when, in the
way back when.
And then
some 130
plus
30 plus episodes ago.
And then it just sucked. And like they changed coaches. We thought, there was a moment there for about 5 games when they changed the scheme when they actually used the bumper guy. Remember that run? When they scored on like
it was Bo and JT sitting in the bumper.
It was like the Nashville, wasn't it like the 5-for-5 against Nashville or something? This was like a year or two ago. And like everything was flowing, and then they went back. And then they just kept doing the drop pass. And then they got rid of the drop pass. And then they kept feeding it to the same 3 spots. And it's still so predictable. And it drives me crazy. It drives me it like just insanely crazy, because it's just one of those things that if I'm reading this, and by all means, you are not getting your statistics from me. If we're talking about Canucks podcasts and information, you can go to
you can get those anywhere. That's not.
You can go to Faber and Quads and all the other guys. You can do that there. But if I'm able to notice a glaringly bad problem and you still haven't fixed it, and it's easy to fix, you have the personnel. Like, just do it. Start using all 5 guys. Like, I know this is crazy to think, but use all 5 guys. You're not going to believe how well that can actually work for you.
5 Guys, great burger place too.
Great burger place. The fries and the peanuts. You got to write home about that stuff. And then the PK. So the PK isn't good. They're still 32nd in the league. However, things have turned around since Brucey's come. So I believe they're like, are they number 1 in the league goals against for 5-on-5? I'm pretty sure. So like things are going well on the defensive side of things since Bruce came. And I'm okay with it just sucking. Like, it's a statistic. There's no award that's giving out, although there is a coaching award apparently.
I was going to say there is an award for that.
there is an award for that. But like if they end the season and they're like 29th or whatever, like that's not going to change anybody's perspective. Perception
rhymes with
Samsonite. It's not going to change anybody's feelings about what the special teams are. They're going to reset next season, and they'll be able to build something a lot better. And I think they're rolling with the personnel they have, and the PK is a lot better than it was. Their defensive game is a lot better. Shout out to like the Lamicos and the Tyler Motts and the Highmores. He scored again. Like, holy crap.
Yeah. That's Highmore is the exact reason why Tyler Mott is trade bait.
Yeah, we didn't even get into him. But like I said, before we get to Dudes and Guys, like things are getting better on the little things, the things that aren't goals.
Things are getting better on the Ericssons.
Yeah, we're we're getting away from moral victories and the little things, and we're finally starting to celebrate the actual results of wins and goals. So, man, that's what I got. On behalf of that little segment, we now get to the segment everybody's been waiting for. Dudes and Guys, brought to you by Move Health and Wellness. Are you excited for Dudes and Guys?
I'm always excited for Dudes and Guys.
Whoa, let's change something. Let's put you in the driver's seat. You like that?
I don't know if I do.
Could we do this?
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's do this. Sure. Let's get a close up of us. We're 2 good looking guys. Dudes and Guys. I think we have to obviously go to our guys first, and I'm trying to remember if I had. Who did I have as my? Do you have one right away?
For just a dude?
For a guy.
Oh, for a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
dude for sure.
I have a guy. I like sort of wanted to name Thatcher Demko as a guy. I just, you know what? And I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go with Thatcher Demko as my guy. I think
I like where you're going.
I it's not like he was terrible in the Nashville game. I mean, Vancouver outshot in that game, but I think he's at that point now where if he's not 5 alarm Demko, then this it's just your expectations are squashed a little bit, right? Like,
Yeah.
so I think he was just a guy, and by just a guy, I'm literally just saying he just looked human in that last game. Halak looked good versus Chicago.
Yeah.
We've been blessed with some really good goaltending the last like 4 or 5 games.
Mhm.
You sprinkle in a couple of average performances there from Demko and DiPietro, and then
Spenny.
all of a sudden, yeah, and then all of a sudden the goaltending just looks. Do you know what I mean? So I like that they showcased Halak, and I think that that's going to help boost his trade value somewhat. I think we have another goaltender. Obviously, it's Spencer Martin. It looks like he can handle himself. He was our dude last week for probably for a couple of games. But Demko was just human in this one. So it wasn't that he was terrible. But in a game like that, that's the guy that you need to win a 2-1 game, not a 4-2 game.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. I would say my guy, I don't know, like it's such a toss up. I've got a few players, but you know what? I'm gonna go with I am gonna go with Connor Garland. I was gonna say Petey, but he did have a nice little dangle sort of shot there.
Mm.
Connor Garland, yeah, I mean he's on the trade rumor block, but I don't know. Like I get it is a results based business, I suppose, and the last couple games anyway, like Connor Garland had like he's done the not goal things, but he hasn't done the goal things. Like the last time like he's done a lot of good things away from the puck, but like his last point was against Florida, which was an
It's
assist.
pronounced Florida.
Florida, Kelowna. His last goal was against Seattle. That was on New Year's Day. His last goal before that, oh man, his last goal before that was against Winnipeg on December 10th.
Yeah, he's slowing down a little bit, right?
He's doing the other things,
Yeah,
but
I think he's still fun to watch. You still notice him constantly, but I think the last couple of games, he's even that started to fall off a little bit. He just looks maybe
yeah,
he's tired. I don't know.
I mean, and maybe he is tired. Maybe a few of these guys do need a break.
Maybe he's tired from carrying this team for the first quarter.
I mean, you're doing all these pirouettes and spinoramas and stuff. That's probably exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm just saying. So this is my Connor Garland call out, and next thing you know, it's gonna be like the JT Miller thing, hey? Like JT Miller's like, maybe we should trade him.
I think mostly because we have that level of influence and they listen to the show.
Yeah.
I think that's why. Yeah.
People pay attention to this show. Like some people do. And by people I mean like multiple, more than one. So you can say people at that point.
Yeah, I mean, number 2 rated hockey podcast in Panama.
Yeah, actually, we are climbing Taiwan. You guys have no idea how great things are for our podcast in Taiwan. It's insane. And I just want to point something out. After I zoomed in, I thought there was a dog sitting at that wall behind you, but it's actually a backpack, which might be a zebra or something.
It's one of those Vans checker backpacks. Yeah,
that makes sense. So it isn't a dog. I was like, wow, like your dog's really well behaved.
It's a good girl.
It's a backpack. Good girl. Good girl. Let's get to the fun part, though. Fun part, dudes. I am really hoping you don't take mine, and I am a nice person, so you can go first. And I'm really, really hoping that you don't take mine. So I do have a backup option. My English is just phenomenal today, but I'm gonna let you have at it. Who's your dude?
Do you have a guess I'll give you one guess who my dude is.
Is it in the top 5 in scoring on the team?
Pardon?
Is he top 5 in scoring on this team?
No.
Then I have no idea.
My
Actually,
dude,
I do know now. Now I know, but say it because I
do you
know now.
know?
Yep, I do.
Okay. My dude for this week is Luke Shen.
I knew it.
Luke Shen, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, comes out of the Chicago game with a goal. 19 hits. 19 hits
He's a piss
through 2
missile.
games. He was the heat-seeking piss missile that game. 19 hits, 5 shots. I mean, he's up to 9 points on the season, which is just ridiculous to me. Somehow he's got 3 goals, which ties Oliver Ekman-Larsson for goal scoring for the defenseman on this team. And I don't know, man. There's games where this guy logs 20 minutes a night and it looks like, oh my God. And then there's other games where he logs 20 minutes a night and you're like, they can't do anything against him. So this was one of those games, man. And what a feel good story. I like watching this guy play, I swear. But yeah,
Defining value, right?
Yeah, running around, just smoking people, finding a spot on this roster. He's pretty much made Tucker Pullman expendable and at a fraction of the value. So
you're saying that like he wasn't expendable the second that they signed him.
I mean, if you would have told me that Luke Shen was going to steal his job and wrestle it away from him by playing good hockey, I would have said that that's a stretch because he's probably a 6th or 7th defenseman on the squad, but he's been more than that. He's been much better than that.
He fit in right away though when he came the first time.
He did, but it was a different team.
But it was still like he had a good defense member. Like we thought
he did. He was playing with Quinn. He was playing with Quinn, but he was playing with rookie Quinn, right? Like, hey,
true.
The reason you're here is to ride shotgun with this kid and look out for him.
Now people,
right? But now he's found a spot on the squad. And you can't help but cheer for the guy. That's the kind of dude that you need in your. I mean, he's basically locked onto that role that Alex Biega did, right? Where you always felt Biega could play a little more. You always felt Stetcher could play a little more. And there was obviously holes in either of their games, but he's doing it on just pure sure will and horsepower. Like the guy is just getting it done. Yeah. And I'm okay with some guy that we signed as a 7th defenseman coming out of a 2-game road trip with 5 shots, a goal, and a +2 rating and 19 hits. I know there's other stats that contribute to this, but he's getting paid league minimum salary and he's getting the job done.
So hooray! This we're gonna applaud Jim Benning for a second. It's almost like when he brought him back, like, you know what, Luke Shen is a sure thing. We don't need anything from him because everything above league minimum is gold.
Yeah, you can give him some credit, but then the credit giveth and the credit taketh away. Because was it just an accident that Probably. Shen was more than they thought he was? Was it just a?
But then he goes and wins 2 cups.
What did he think that? Yeah, exactly. And we let him go away for that. What did he think that Tucker Pullman's role was going to be on this squad? Top 4 defenseman.
That's fair. Yeah, if I finish
so yeah, you knock this one out of the park, and then that one you
got beaned.
Which one are you? I don't know.
Yeah. Why can't it be both? I don't know. Yeah, no, that's fair. You didn't need to rub that in my face, but I tried having a good moment, and you.
I'm not rubbing it in your face.
You poured reality like reality gravy all over these mashed potatoes.
Everybody had mashed potatoes tonight. I cooked myself a bowl of rice.
You're like, screw you guys, I'm out of here. I hate this family. Peace out. My dude of the week is, if he's not the hardest worker on this team right now, I don't know who is. Quinn Hughes is my dude of the week. The dude gets high-sticked in the face. Like Rob, what's that dude's name? Rob, the big guy. In the face.
Oh, in the face.
Rob, what's his name? Rob Riggle. From Hangover. In the face. Remember that?
I thought that in the face thing was like that old Canadian Tire commercial where they're trying to smack talk.
Well, there's that one too. But from Hangover, remember where he tasers him in the face.
Yeah.
I almost now need to watch the movie for that one clip. And
probably have to go back and watch those. Yeah,
it's classic. But like Quinn Hughes gets high sticked in the mouth, has like the absolute biggest like freaking blue purple bubble on his face.
He's got the mouse on his lip. Yeah.
Oh, just like it looked horrendous. And he's like, screw you guys. And he has been dominating play. His edge work has just been like the points haven't like I don't even have words to say. Like I'm mumbling all of my words here. He's got a couple assists in the last few games, but he's doing so much more than getting points. And I know that's what, he started doing, and then he's working on his defensive game. His defensive game, like when he's on the ice, his way to um, basically escape any situation, how he just like wiggles his way out of it, or just carries a play, or walks the line, or just extends a play on the blue line, or pinches just at the right moment and then pulls back. He is in the last week, like almost every game, I'm just thinking, man, what would the Canucks be without Quinn Hughes? They would be. I mean, we give Thatcher Demko praise where it is due. Do not get me wrong, but there is no way this team is even remotely relevant without Quinn Hughes.
He's so good.
Like he's
so. I look at a guy like Tony DeAngelo, and I don't generally like talking about Anthony DeAngelo, but I mean, because he's just such a puke.
He's a douchebag.
But I mean, they have 33 and 34 points respectively. But one of these guys plays 26 minutes a night and is a complete defenseman.
He's a rock.
I mean, I would like to know, and somebody I'm sure would have the stat. I would like to know how many miles he skated in the past like 5 games. Logging like 25 plus minutes a night every single night. Like you notice him 100% of the time. He's got that Sedin aura around him where you notice him every time he's out on the ice. And do you know who's leading the league in scoring right now? I just looked.
Who leads the NHL in scoring?
Yeah.
I thought I knew, but you tell me.
It's Adam Fox with 47, tied with Victor Hedman.
You're what?
Yeah, like so I would have thought that it would have been Cale Makar or Roman Josi, but there is D-men out there putting up more points than Cale Makar. And these guys they're complete defensemen. Like Fox,
It's a good
Hedman,
crop.
Josi, Makar, Letang, Ekblad, Morgan Riley, John Carlson, Quinn Hughes, and Tony DeAngelo. Like this is just a disgustingly elite group of defenders. And one of them plays for the Canucks.
Yeah, and I was looking. I'm trying to see if I've got it on here. I was looking up Corsi the other day. So Quinn Hughes, because he's not Sheldon Dries or Dries or whatever you say his name, he leads the Canucks with a 53% Corsi. I went through and I'm like, well, I mean, I know that's not the best in the NHL, but I just wanted to see like where does he rank for defensemen? Like 32nd. For Corsi. So I mean, we have again, that is one statistic as far, and it's an important one. But like I looked and I thought, okay, well 53, like that's pretty good. Like it's not catastrophically amazing. Like it's not just like holy crap, like stop the presses. But I looked and I'm thinking like, man, if he's that good, and then you see all these other guys that are performing ahead of him, like, man, like I guess you look at the rest of the talent in the NHL, like how much better are these teams than the Canucks? But like it's
I'm
like
looking at another thing
it's
here.
insane. It's just insane. Like and again, like his rough and tumbleness, like I said, like the big mouse on his face, that's going to be talked about for a bit. Like he's becoming, and I hate to say this because it sounds so cliche, but like that Canadian hockey player kind of thing. Like it sounds stupid because it is so cliche, but he's becoming like a hockey player, I guess is probably what I should say. He's becoming like a pro. Like there's going to be a tooth missing at some point. He's going to turn to Chris Tanev or Bieksa.
He's going to end up, I see what you're saying. He's going to end up like this hardened veteran.
He's not a baby face anymore. He's going to have like within like 6 years, long hair. It's going to be like shoulder length, like Carlson. And he's going to have like, a few, he's probably going to have some stitches above his like left eye or something. And we're like, man, Quinn Hughes is like, he's going to go from like, oh, he's so cute. He's a little huggy bear. And then like 3 years from now, he's like, he's a badass. He's going to come up on like a motorbike to hockey games now.
I'm just looking at this other stat of rookies that are playing in the NHL right now. And Jonathan Dullen is among the league leaders in scoring as a rookie. He's got 11 goals and 9 assists for
That's
some
wrong.
guy that we just threw out with the dirty laundry.
What if?
And he's
There's a
back in
lot of
San
what if.
Jose too. So basically, what we did was we traded Hansen to San
Yeah.
Jose for free because the
Mm-hmm.
player they gave us in return was Jonathan Dullen. He wasn't good enough to play in the NHL. We told him to go away. Now he's one of the league leaders in rookie scoring.
Yeah.
There's
I
black
did say
eyes just all over the place. Yeah, it's weird.
I did say some nice things about Benning, didn't I? I should probably take those back. I should probably go take those back. Is there a way to like delete?
It's so silly.
I just wow. It hurts. It now does hurt to think about that. And that's not the only one.
No, there's many.
There's a book.
8 years worth of.
I want to shout out our boy. I want to shout out our boy Yerky. I got to bring this upstairs because I keep forgetting.
We should have Yerky on the show to talk about it because it would be a fun. It would be a fun way to reminisce.
It'd be like Eklund though, where he wouldn't be able to have his face on.
Yeah, whatever.
Which is cool. Or we could script like Sportsnet did and be like, "Oh shoot, there's Eklund." Whoops. Remember that?
Oh, he's just a regular guy. I don't remember that because I think Eklund's a joke.
No, but remember when they had him on the trade deadline and someone screwed up and they actually like had him like walking by and they didn't have the screen blocker up.
It fuzzes.
Everybody knows who he is. The gig's up. Sorry, Eklund. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Yeah, I got to bring this upstairs and read it because I'm only to August 2016, and well, some things happened.
There's a couple more months.
There'll be a Dolan thing in here, I'm sure. Like what year?
Let's get Yerky on.
I'm sure we can make it happen. He's done some pretty cool stuff. Have you seen? Were you on Twitter yesterday? Did you see like the logos that he turned people into? The Buffalo Fabers.
No, that's great though.
So it's got him. Oh, like you got to see this. It's so funny. He did some good ones. There was there was a few people, and he basically turned them into logos of a few teams, and just absolutely hilarious. I was really hoping that he would get me on one, and I'm not sure which team I would be, but mad props to Yerky.
Those are all fun. Like when they did the NFL logos as Star Wars.
Yeah, same thing. Actually, and he we'll wrap up in a second here. He actually hooked me up with a sweet design for golf season. So I don't know if I've showed you this already, but we got something in the works around Masters time. That I mean, even if you don't buy what I'm suggesting, it's going to look rad, and you're going to want one anyway. So maybe we'll get some made and give one away or something. But that's basically it. I think there's All-Star Weekend, which neither of us will be at. But
not this time.
Where's my phone? Oh, did I bring it downstairs?
My new phone.
New phone. So our good friend Sarah Ayers is at the All-Star game this weekend, and I've been back and forth. So we have we're going to give away one of our mint hoodies. I've got a large and an extra large left. So what we're going to do, and I've already announced this on Twitter, but we're going to do a joint announcement. They've actually got some to offer as well. Basically, $10 at least donation to the Canadian Kidney Foundation. Screenshot it, send it to me or to Ted or to Sarah, and you're entered. And we're going to give away that hoodie to one person. We'll let it run for a couple weeks, and I think backup goalie or Bug Life, sorry, may have some cool swag to throw into that mix. So make sure, like I said, I have the link. I can probably have something pinned. But so her and Dave are going down to the All-Star game tomorrow. And so we're going to maybe hook up on a chat or something and blah, blah, blah. And she goes, my sweater is coming with me to Vegas this weekend. PP1 podcast going big in Vegas for the NHL.
Who's wearing a sweater in Vegas? Isn't it too hot?
Well, it is February.
Whatever, I'm being an ass. I'm grateful.
It's been chilly. I mean, it can get a little chilly at night, but anyway, could be very awesome. So other than that, we've got no hockey to look forward to aside from the All-Star game, which I think Skills is going to be awesome. So maybe check that out on Friday.
Skills is always fun.
Yeah, the game itself, whatever. Pro Bowl is on Sunday again.
Yeah, it's like the Olympics. You show up to watch the track and field events, but you're really just there to see the dash.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh yeah, big fan of pole vault. Big fan.
Yeah.
Big fan of biathlon. But no, we're here for the hockey. Any final words with you, sir?
Not this time.
Okay. Well, I mean, this has been a lot of fun. We have big screen now. Look at us.
Yeah, we did it.
We threw it up for dudes and guys, and it just stuck. We could do this again, possibly.
Sticking like the snow.
Yeah. Oh, geez. I got to probably shovel as soon as we're done this. Folks, please remember, give us a like. Give it, not a subscribe, it's a follow. It's a follow on Apple Podcast. Give us a follow. Like it on Spotify. Make sure you're on Google. And I'm not going to say, do the heart. Whatever the platform that you're choosing, go and make sure that one podcast comes up every week for you. Listen to it on your smart speaker. I actually tried that. It's pretty sweet. I humble bragged in front of my family. It was pretty awesome. But remember, PP1 Podcast, as I said, you go give us a rate or a review. If you're a new listener, a new rater person, I'm going to freaking send you a pair of these. If there's only one person that does it, then so be it. But I got some pairs. Let's make it happen. Okay? We can do this. We can work together.
Okay.
Marcus wasn't able to make it. He switched shifts, but that's okay. We'll have him on maybe next week. On behalf of Ted, I'm Ryan, wearing a Bug Life hat from our good friends out east. This is the PP1 Podcast on the Dean Blundell Network. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Go Canucks, go. I pray that we have a better team next week, and if we do, you'll hear about it. If it's something crazy, final thing, if it's something crazy, we may do an emergency show. Like, it's something ridiculous that we just can't hold it in. We'll come back at you.
Yeah.
Because we can. So on behalf of that, have a wonderful evening. Peace out.